Tobago, Deportivo point 14 in what should be an exciting match.
Yeah, we talked about the contrasting styles. We talked about the way, of course, Horquetta Rangers like to set themselves up, playing that counter-attacking style football, which has brought a lot of dividends for them. Of course, we heard that man, the leading man here, Managing Director Richard Ferguson, talk about they playing atrociously. And it's a man, of course, with high standards. His team has certainly blown away the competition, albeit that one game against Defence Force, the first game, they've won every single game. I think tonight would be a big test for them, though, James.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be marrying his daughter, hold me to such a high standard. But he certainly is a man who has put on an exceptional tournament of a very high standard. Oh, Sturge with the happy feet. Easy gets past his man. So no Leslie Russell in the defensive line for Rangers this evening. He has been left out. And Kadeem comes in this time around. Well, the volume has certainly gone to another level. Usually a sign that the home team are out and on the prowl. Well, I'd love to see the matchup between Real Gill and Cornwall in this match. Cornwall has been one of the standout performers, defenders in this tournament for me. So to Real Gill, one of the standout wingers in this match. That man, Kadeem Corbin, has been one of the outstanding scorers himself. What a match. Yummy. So just being allowed to build up out of the back is Cornwall. It's well cut out. As Gill has done well. Now, I did say not many major changes in the point 14 team. However, one glaring change is the absence of Wesley John, the central defender. He's not in the squad list tonight. Not quite sure if he's injured, but he is missing. Does bring a ton load of experience. Mark Ramdeen also is forced to sit on the bench this evening. He has been one of their top performers. Oh, run into traffic in the middle there, Pacheco. Bit of a handball. Referee allows it to continue. Oh, here's trouble. Kicho and Ciceran. And the first goal of the match, but it is called back. Well, the warning signs are there. They're flashing in bright red lights. Wearing red t-shirts. Kadeem Corbin already showing them what he can do. Marvin Phillip, he's fortunate.
Yeah, he's very fortunate. And a lot of it is down to losing the football in particular areas. There, of course, Corbin just straying a tad offside. But I think Deportivo has to be very careful. They're trying to build the ball up through the middle. And if they're reckless with their passing or their possession, we know how quickly, of course, Rangers can transition from defense to offense. It's one of their strong points.
Well, Morris sent his man flying over the advertising board. He's been solid. Big boy. It's not easy to run past. Jabon Morris. Easy for Marvin Phillip this time. Oh, what an atmosphere we have here in La Horquetta. Team from East Trinidad against the team from South. Well, no room, but they still managed to keep it. Done well. Well, this is in search of Nathaniel Garcia, who does well, but can he keep it in? Unsuccessful this time. Certainly a big addition to the Point Fortin team.
Yeah, certainly a big addition. He's one of those midfielders, plays in the 8, was very capable of breaking lines and getting advance of his front runners. And I'm sure that's what he's going to be asked to do today.
Trying to carve open some space. Point Fortin, not this time.
That's good football.
Oh, that's clever.
That's clever.
He's done well. And too long for Gill in the end. But Daniel David, man of the match from last round. So he has the moves like Jagger. It's Andre Etienne. He's got a big task ahead of him, containing Rangers, who've scored in excess of 17 goals in the competition so far in their previous 4 meetings. Timothy Derry in charge of this one. So it is a free kick. Andrew Pacheco trying to test Jabari St-Hilaire. Here comes Pacheco. And oh, it's not Independence, but got some oohs and ahs from the crowd. He's getting on in age, Andrew Pacheco. Former Arima Fireman. So part of the victorious Princeton Senior Comprehensive team that won in 2001. Of course, I'm speaking about the SSFL title. That man was also part of that team, Marvin Phillip. Also included the likes of Lindsay Sherwood, Lyndon Luke, Clyde Leon, now deceased. A host of players that went on to senior international level. You also think about Noriega, who played with the national senior team. He was part of that team as well. Ball broken up by Etienne. Oh, he's done well to create some space. And he keep it. But he's done well, Hudson. Ran out of real estate eventually. High pressure from Point Fortin to keep it.
Shoot from here.
Well, he does relish the opportunity. Just couldn't nail it. But it's a second shot that we've gotten from Point Fortin.
There is certainly some quality within this Deportivo side. I know we've mentioned some of the household names as it relates to Trinidad and Tobago football. Of course, Philip and Etienne at the back. But when you look at them from an offensive perspective, James, Shaquille Henry, Reilly, Garcia, I think certainly that man, Luke Phillip as well.
Hudson as well.
Hudson. Some good quality in there. Certainly match winners on their day.
Well, here's one of them, Jordan Reilly, from a secondary school youth star. Really trying to make the transition to senior football. It's been one of the standout performers in the secondary schools football league here in Trinidad and Tobago. If you can translate some of that talent that we saw at the secondary school level, certainly will be a very good prospect for Trinidad and Tobago.
I think when you make that transition, James, it really comes down to consistency. at the professional level. That's what is expected of you. Game in, game out, consistent performer, productive performer as well. Has to have an end result to the graft that he may put in. Certainly has the attributes. It's just application, really, isn't it?
Well, here's Ross Russell Jr. trying to apply a good service to Real Gill. Can't control. Oh, he's under pressure here, but he manages to escape.
It's very lucky.
Ronell Paul coming in for Wesley John. Ross Russell Jr. is a fullback, but he often in forward positions. Chance opening up here, and easy for Marvin Phillip in the end. Daniel David trying his luck. Phillip, of course. Oh, that's a rough challenge coming from Shaquille Henry.
Unnecessary as well.
And Jabari St-Hilaire. They really have rotated their squad. The goalkeepers as well. The Horquetta Rangers. St-Hilaire coming in, of course, for Jabari Bryce, who played in the opening few matches, and well, he shows that he's quite competent and brave as well. Not afraid of Henry.
I've been taught from a very, very early age that when a goalkeeper comes out with his knees up, you vacate the premises. I'm not sure if Shaquille Henry read that memo.
Well, you burn to learn. If you can't hear, you'd feel. Some of the local parlance that's used to describe things like that. What a bench. Jabari Bryce, Atula Guerra, top youth talent. There's another one, Kadeem Corbin. And of course, Andrew Pacheco. Leslie Russell also on the bench. I'd love to have a bench like that. Chance could open up here. The pass is a wayward one. And Isaiah Garcia would want that back. Oh, here's Pacheco. Luke Phillip, isolated. Does have some support from Cornwall. Ronell Paul. Andre Etienne. They've got the overlap from Cornwall, but they couldn't pick him out.
Deportivo has certainly improved as this tournament has progressed, James, as we see Coach Francis in the picture. But you have to wonder how important this game is here for them. As much as we're talking about the improvement, I think if they are to have a serious challenge of winning this tournament, they virtually have to win tonight. This is a must-win game for Deportivo.
Isaiah Lee. Etienne. Oh, that's good from Daniel, but it's lost out to Garcia. Well, he's cut his customary cornrows. He looks a different man almost, Nathaniel Garcia, the elder of the Garcia brothers. Of course, brother of AEK Athens star Levi Garcia, and also Judah Garcia, who also plays with AEK as well. A lot of pedigree coming from the Santa Flora region of South Trinidad. Garcia brothers. Pacheco, oh, he's lost his footing.
Oh, he's lucky.
And he's fallen.
He's a lucky boy. I thought he slipped there, James.
I thought so as well. Maybe my eyes saw a different picture.
So we see him here. Tries to Cruyff the ball out. Yeah, a little bit of a talk by Corbin. Seen those called before.
Well, he tries to get Keyshawn Cicheran going. Oh, we first saw Keyshawn Cicheran in the lineup after returning from injury last weekend. He was the architect of the fourth goal for the Horquetta Rangers, scored by Daniel. He played on the right. So left-footed, this time being used on the left-hand side of the attack for Rangers. Former national youth player, Cicheran. Here's Daniel to Real Gill. 18-year-old goes down under the pressure of Cornwall. Well, I tell you, he's been one of my performers of the tournament so far, Cornwall.
Sturdy, very solid.
He's the son of a former Star Wars striker, Kester Cornwall, who's also the assistant coach.
He's been very, very difficult to beat on 1v1 situations and been just very sturdy overall. And a team where, of course, they have some a lot of solid defenders. We talked about Wesley John, who's not here this afternoon. So also Andre Etienne back there.
Well, the irony is he comes from a family of attackers. Kester Cornwall was very prolific in his SSFL career, playing with St. Benedict's College. And his uncle, Jesus Cornwall, as well, an attacker. How did he end up a defender?
Certainly didn't read the memo. Certainly didn't take kind to the family tree. Decided to do his own thing. So you see a foul there by Shaquille Henry. He's going to have to be patient, James Shaquille Henry. He's playing up front all alone. They're asking him to cover a lot of real estate in his job spec here tonight. He's going to spend a lot of time chasing and running lost causes. And he may find that odd one or two opportunities, and that's where he has to be to his optimum best, Shaquille Henry.
Well, that's a battle that Nathaniel Garcia was not shy to get involved in. Well broken up. 0.14 go forward. Henry just couldn't control. Etienne. Well, does what he wants, and this time he's fouled.
Wow.
Or was he the one doing the fouling? Well, this is a dangerous looking situation, but you've got a calm pair of gloves from Marvin Phillips to disrupt that. Oh, that's a good control.
This is where they want Shaquille Henry, in those areas, pulling Big Jevon Morris out of it.
Yeah, Luke Phillip. His final ball. Well, it didn't match the build-up in any way. So we're almost approaching 20 minutes in this match, still goalless. Goal by Kadeem Corbin in the 4th minute, ruled out. Well, Jordan Reilly is on his bike and he's gone. He's taking Sturts for a run here. He's blown past him.
Oh, I tell you,
something here.
I tell you what.
Wow. He certainly created the anticipation. Not the expected outcome he was hoping for, the former Presentation College man.
And once he got into full throttle here, Sturge was always in some trouble. It's a tough one, James. Tough one to call. But that's what they want, Deportivo, to see Reilly in full throttle.
Well, he's part of the 2018 Trinidad and Tobago Youth Under-20 team, Reilly. Batman Corbin, well, he was a star performer during his time at under-20 level. Was part of the Caribbean Cup winning team in 2002.
This is not a good sign. This is not a good sign at all.
He's pointing at his groin, Marvin Phillip. And won't want to lose him. Ton load of experience, 82 caps with the national team, Marvin Phillip, and didn't seem to go down under any particular challenge.
Well, he did extend himself for the ball that was whizzed across the box. And maybe he just, from a starting position into where he eventually ended up, may have overextended himself. If it's a groin situation, it is a worrying one because certainly the goalkeepers, in terms of their movement, explosive movements, may I add, groin is a big part of it, and he seems heavily strapped already.
Might be the inner thigh as well.
Can only hope that he's okay. He's a big part of why this fixture is going to be a good one.
Well, he was the starting goalkeeper for Trinidad and Tobago at the Under-17 World Cup back in 2001. Remember that? Trinidad and Tobago in a group with the likes of Brazil. Marvin Phillips being a big part of that team. Seems to be all right, Philip, and John Reilly seems happy that his captain and goalkeeper is back on his feet. This is a long throw, headed away by Philip. Well, he's done well, hasn't he? But Philip has done better, but they've won it back. It's Daniel. Oh, that's looked good for a second. Angie Pacheco using all of his experience here to hold off Real Gill.
And size.
He's lost it though, Hudson. Back with Gill, they're like ants swarming around, a piece of candy. The Larkota Rangers players, and a chance could open up for Sicharan, but that's good defending.
That's top-notch defending. Top-notch defending there. That's exactly what you want to see from your defenders. Isaiah Garcia getting his body across his man, not allowing him, and of course, more importantly, putting his body between him, the man and the ball. Textbook defending.
Hudson. Cornwall. Ronald Paul. Garcia. It's been an interesting game so far. Both sides showing that they've got the pace to compete. Evenly matched so far.
Something we haven't been able to say in a 2 minutes La Horquetta Ranger fixture. I think they knew when they saw the team list for Deportivo that they'd be in for a game here tonight.
Oh, that's well broken up by Pacheco. Oh, it's lost it. And Hudson, or Lee could break here, Isaiah Lee. He's been their leading goal scorer. On the opposite end, Isaiah Hudson gets involved. Can he find Reilly? Not this time.
Game getting a little bit stretched now, James.
It does. Could spell goals, maybe. Too long for Gill in the end from Russ Russell Jr. 18-year-old, not able to get at the end of it. Oh, he's had a good tournament so far. Russ Russell Jr. Talk about not following in his father's footsteps. His father, of course, international goalkeeper for Trinidad and Tobago. Oh, he's an attacking fullback.
If you want to call that the complete other end of the spectrum.
Cornwall to Garcia. Not given any time or room. It's one back by Paul. It's going to make Marvin Phillips show up some footwork.
How's your groin?
I tell you, if anybody is comfortable on his feet, it's Marvin Phillips. Although he does have a potential groin situation at the moment. Did start his career as a striker.
Well, it was just tested there by that ball, by Paul.
So that's clever from Shaquille Henry. And Etienne to clean up. Oh, that's good from Reilly. As he found space again, he's taken Sturge for a run. And, well, this time running out of real estate, but Sturge has a handful.
I tell you what, James, Sturge did very, very well there, because after Reilly made that turn, his eyes probably lit up, and out of nowhere, a young man in the picture there came to the rescue. Nice turn here by Reilly. Look at Sturge. Could have dove in there, stayed on his feet, and eventually challenged his man a corner for his troubles, but I think it could have been a lot worse.
Certainly could have been. Hasn't gotten the ball much, Reilly, but when he has, well, he's made them take notice. And that one is cleared from danger. Exciting match so far. Still goalless.
Game really on a knife's edge so far, James. Both teams really don't want to be the one making that mistake.
Well, here's Cicheran, has some pace. And wow, he's bundled over by Garcia. And he gets a yellow card for his trouble. That battle has been very keen. I spoke about that battle between Gill and Cornwall, but this is another emerging battle between Cicheran and Garcia.
Well, certainly one of the success stories for Deportivo has been their wingbacks. Both Garcia and Cornwall put in some excellent performances for their charges.
Well, the area that they're from, Deportivo Point Fortin, has produced, I'm not sure we can finish the broadcast if we start calling names. Perhaps one of the most famous being Leroy De Leon, coming from the Point Fortin region. Talk about Wilfred Cave, so many top players coming from that area. They do boast of having produced the most national players, Point Fortin. Booted away by Etienne. Pacheco sends Reilly on a chase. Sinclair might get there first. He does. Well, it could be a break on the other end as well. And
I'm not sure about that.
Etienne is pleading his innocence. The referee has ruled against him, though.
Well, he came across, yeah, just a little shrug of the elbow there. I tell you, looking at that again, James, he's lucky to be on the pitch, because it looked like there was a swing in action, an elbow swing in action.
Seems he might have gone down in the book as well.
If you can get another look at that, I just wonder. So look at it here, James. Look at the elbow there, right there. He's fortunate.
Yeah, he's been a bad boy. Lucky to just receive a yellow card.
Got a good angle of that one.
Well, I tell you who's not lucky. That man on the ground, Kishon Cicheran. And well, they're having words at the moment. Well, good look at the bench. And 4 of them have played for the national team in the coaching staff. So the former Naparima goalkeeper in there, Rondell. Kelvin Modest as well, super. Coach Selborn Francis, Kester Cornwall. Oh, they've got some quality, haven't they? Good bench.
If they could have turned back the hands of time.
The goalkeeper coach would have been the understudy, one of the understudies to Marvin Phillip at Star Wars Strikers. Well, this one couldn't beat the man at the near post. As we approach the half-hour mark in this match, no goals yet. Hasn't been short of action, though.
Yeah, it has been an absorbing contest so far. Certainly pleasing on the eye. Keen battles on the field and various departments have really culminated into a good view for spectators as we started to see things fill up here at the La Horquetta Recreational Ground.
Can he find a red shirt? Finds the head of Etienne. Seems to be everywhere in defense. Oh, that's good from Reilly. But Sturge wins that battle illegally. He's having a tough time, isn't he, Sturge?
Well, I think the question is being asked if Etienne received the card for his loose hands. Why is not Sturge? As you can see, the hand across the chest. Always a foul. I don't think he needed to do it. Nevertheless, oh, that's reckless.
Wow, that's heavy from Ronell Paul. And
yeah, that's naughty. It's you can argue all you like, James, about it hitting the ball first, but the follow through, it's not allowed in football. And as much as he can protest, he's a lucky boy not to be booked or even sent off for that. It's fine winning the football. Look at the follow through. You just can't do that. That's certainly outside the remit of the rules of the game.
Well, absorbing contest. Point Fortin really putting up a battle here. I mentioned earlier that Point Fortin might boast of having perhaps the most national players. I'm sure Carenage might take offense to that. Another community and has produced quite a bit of national talent. You think of Lester Peltier, you think of Kevin Molino, you think of Jovin Jones, and you think about the national coach, Angus Eve, who's locked on, by the way. Hello, Angus.
I think that as we look at Coach Quamino belting out instructions, it's certainly been a contest. And as much as we try to contextualize things, Terminex La Horquetta Rangers have really steamrolled the competition. As we see Mark Ramdeen.
Houston Hector, next name as well.
Hector.
Quality, both benches. They're going to tussle for this one. Javon Morris taking no chances. Here's Isaiah Lee to Cicheran. He's up against Cornwall now. Gill has had limited success against the fullback. Here's Garcia. Chico, and they're away now to Hudson.
That's good football.
They can find Henry, and well, I tell you what, Javon Morris, you might look at him physically and think he's a run over, but he's been far from that in this competition.
And what he does well is he gets his body across and in between the man and the ball, which makes it very difficult for opposing strikers. He's also quite good at reading the game.
You might know his famous uncle, former captain of the 1990 strike squad, Clayton Morris. Oh, not sure St. Hilaire knew much about that.
Oh, had to be spot on there.
Well, Corbin, but he's gotten past two here. He's opened up a yard of space, and that's a good touch. But as it got out of play, still open, anybody's ball, and eventually, I think it was Isaiah Hudson that might have gotten the final touch. But boy, oh boy, it's a roller coaster out there.
Well, it was a roller coaster, but not blocked there by Andre Etienne on Ross Russell Jr. I think that's the one that really, this could be dangerous here.
Well, Cicheran has been crowded out.
But the block by Andre Etienne, James, it's a quality block. Because once Ross Russell Jr. pounced on that loose ball, I think it would have been a difficult night for Marvin Phillip, but Etienne got across, put his body in the way. That's where Deportivo has to be careful. Rangers in transition is arguably one of the best in the country at it.
Certainly are. It's Hudson. Heavy touch from Henry. And again, he's won this battle this time with Morris. First time that he's gotten the better of Morris. As Phillip floats it into the area. Couldn't find Reilly. So here's Reilly again.
That's a good ball.
Wonder. Well, Cornwall just
got to finish.
Missed it. In fact, Henry just missed it. And, well, you don't get those opportunities twice. And Shaquille Henry would be wondering how he missed it. And Luke Phillip with the follow-up. Well, he couldn't pin the tail either.
That's a big, big chance there. Delightful play by Reilly, getting the better of Ross Russell Jr. Look at that. May have taken a slight touch by Morris, maybe James, not sure. But certainly Shaquille Henry. Oh, what a glorious opportunity for him.
More chances for Point Fortin here. Oh, and he just took it away from everybody, Ronald Paul. I think Henry might have been fancying his chance at the back door. End-to-end action. We're here for it. Inside the final 10 minutes of the first half.
You have to give Deportivo a lot of credit, James. They've not only just shown up for this fixture, but they've certainly played their part in it. I may even argue that they've had the best chance of the game so far.
Oh, Kill bumped out of possession, and here's Reilly. Still just had nightmares. Will this be one of them? He's got some help here.
He's got to deliver.
Yeah, Garcia.
Yeah, he's got to deliver.
Didn't get it over. Ross Russell Jr. bombing forward. How often have we seen him in the attacking third? The left back. Well, here's Sturge as well in the pushing forward. Oh, that's careless. And clumsy. So the two C's combining to create another C. A bit of a casualty. Phillip seems to have gotten the worst of it.
Well, I think the last thing that Deportivo wants is for this game to become stretched and a seesaw battle, as we see, of course, frailing hands there again.
And I think Phillip might have been the guilty party. The hand across the face of Kadeem Lewis. And
they have to avoid from this game becoming too stretched, because that's exactly what Rangers would like from it, with the pace and guile that they have in the attacking positions, and how quickly they move from defense to offense. So I think from a Deportivo point of view, and certainly from Coach Francis's point of view, he'd want to stay as compact for as long as possible throughout this game. They've done well so far, certainly, but they have to be wary of course, finding themselves too stretched.
Well, he's had a good game. Hasn't had the opportunity to bomb forward as much as he'd like this evening, Ross Russell Jr. Credit, of course, to Point Fortin and Garcia and Reilly.
This is his problem right here. Once he's gone.
He's gone. He's got space. Can he deliver with quality? It's good quality. And, well, the acrobatics came out. And, wow, it certainly was like a firework. It entertained momentarily, but then the moment was over. Shaquille Henry.
Well, again, once Ross Russell Jr. vacates that position at left back, Jordan Reilly's finding all sorts of, what a picture-perfect ball. He went for the spectacular when it really needed a touch and finish. He would be disappointed when he sees that. Would have been a lot easier, James, to just bring the ball down and, of course, slot it into the back of the net. But then, what's the reason for having TV cameras here? That's what the spectacular is about.
I can't agree more. Can't complain of not getting chances, Shaquille Henry. Also from the Santa Flora area. Last played his football with Paradise FC in Barbados before the pandemic. Returning home. Can he help his home community? Jordan Reilly can if he can get away, but the flag has gone up, and that has abated his joy. What a match he's having.
But it's been a cat and mouse situation really down that side, because once Ross Russell Jr. advances up front, Jordan Reilly slides across, and of course, once Terminex La Horquetta Region loses the football, then it's really a foot race and acres of space for Jordan Reilly. And 9 times out of 10, Caleb Sturge has to come across, and he's finding himself in really good positions, Jordan Reilly.
Henry keeps it alive. Garcia. Pacheco. Oh, that's clever from Hudson. He's got Reilly overlapping. He tries a shot
Should have
himself.
treaded. Bad decision.
Yes, Cicheran. And well, he's out-muscled by Luke Phillip. So the referee's going to want that back. And well, he's got some motivating to do. Hasn't seen his team under the gun this much in former matches. Tonight he's got to adjust quickly. Yes, Ross Russell Jr. Gill, oh, that's good. Space for Junior.
Got numbers.
Numbers ahead. Can he find one of them? Maybe a bit too long for Cicheran. And, well, that's disappointing. Could still be alive here with Lewis. Corbin tries a shot. Gill, that's a nice paint. And Russell Jr. and deflected.
Top defending again.
Yeah, how often have we seen those opportunities happen? And, well, how often have we seen Marvin Phillip going down in some pain?
Top defending there again by the boys from Deportivo. Just when you thought with the numbers that Rangers had, and this touch here, the touch really let him down. Should have been a little bit further out of his foot.
Might argue. Perhaps could have gone first time as well.
Yeah, he could have, correct. But you have to give credit to Garcia. He was across quickly and shut him down. And that's your wing back, James. He's probably had more opportunities than the forward line collectively for Rangers. That's how far advanced he's been playing.
The former defense force man. Never short on energy. Point Fortin would need some of that energy to defend this service. Headed high into the air. Phillip will contest and a big punch away. Not much distance. They keep it alive, and Daniel's pass is cut out by Phillip. And here they come to Henry. Phillip, oh, that's, well, tried to get it through the legs of Kadeem Lewis. No success. Here's Nathaniel Garcia. Oh, that's clever from Hudson. Cornwall. Well, they're just trying to stretch the field at the moment. Trying to poke holes in the Rangers midfield. This pass not accurate. Sturge. Should be cut out by Etienne. Pacheco. Cornwall. So we are inside the final minutes of the first half. No goals yet. But what an enthralling contest we've witnessed so far. Well, Pacheco not given room, and Jamal Craig wins it. Could open doors here, but it's well escorted by Garcia to his goalkeeper Marvin Phillip. Just trying to cool some of that tempo that we've seen. has been a pressure cooker so far. So 2 minutes will be added to the 45 that has already gone. Maybe enough time to get a goal before halftime. Here's Reilly. It's a foot race yet again that he's winning. And this time he is fouled in the process. He will get a free kick. They've got to do something about Reilly. He's causing all sorts of terror.
But if there is an Achilles heel to Rangers, it's right there. Because of the way they play, they've asked Ross Russell Jr. to play a lot higher up the park. So once Reilly gets the real, he's getting a lot of real estate to run into.
Well, they can't threaten from set pieces. They've got Etienne in there. Big, tall lad. Got Ronell Paul as well to aim at. Pacheco at the back door, and Henry.
Tell you what,
And Sinclair. Wow.
Should have done better there.
Played pat a cake there with his handling. But on the other end, it's Keyshawn Ciceran trying to pick the lock of Point Fortin. Can't get past Philip.
He did really well.
And well, somebody's in pain. Maybe two. And will be Point Fortin's ball.
You have to credit Philip. He basically did a Carifta sprint there to get back.
We're talking about sprinting. Here's a man who can sprint and can pass as well. St. Hilaire's in no man's land. Oh, what a slip there from Shaquille Henry. Fortune for Rangers. Oh, Isaiah Lee. Oh, well cut out. Here's Andre Pacheco. Luke Phillip. That's a lazy ball from Pacheco. They still win it. Remains alive with Hudson. Oh, that's clever from Phillip. And, well, smart as well. But the referee's whistle, well, it comes and it brings an end to what has been a delightful first half. Goalless. However, it has been entertaining between Deportivo Point Fortin and the home team, La Horquetta Rangers. At halftime, goalless. We take a break and come back with the first half highlights. "45 minutes has failed to produce a goal here at the La Horquetta Recreation Ground between Terminix Rangers and Deportivo Point Fortin. certainly hasn't been a game short of action. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. In what has been an enthralling match so far, Andre Pacheco tried his luck early, giving Jabari St. Hilaire something to think about. That was early, first few minutes of the match. And then more from Point Fortin. Nathaniel Garcia. Gravity not in his favor that time. No trouble for St. Hilaire. On the opposite end, in transition, La Hoqueta Rangers always a trouble, but Garcia, the fullback, up to the task. And then Kadeem Corbin. How about him for some silky skills? Opening up the door for Ross Russell Jr. And how about that for a block from Andre Etienne? And later on, this man, Jordan Reilly rather, and Shaquille Henry, unable to pin the tail, and Luke Phillips follow up, but it lacked some precision. And Reilly was a Reilly show in this first half, like an Olympic sprinter. The best chance maybe for Point Fortin, but the acrobatics couldn't get the right execution to hit the nail on the head, so it remains goalless in this match between Deportivo Point Fortin and La Hoqueta Rangers. Well, looking at some of the first half statistics, and paints a very good picture.
Yeah, it does. And you look at the shot department, 5 shots to 3 for shots for Deportivo Point Fortin over the Rangers. Shots on target, 1 apiece. Fouls, 4 for Rangers, 3 for Deportivo. Of course, 2 yellow cards for Deportivo. Offsides the same. Corners, 1 for Deportivo ahead of Rangers with a 0, and 1 saves a piece for both teams. And of course, James, a game where many would have figured that Rangers would have been high and dry by now, but Deportivo have certainly shown up for this occasion and have certainly played their part in it.
Well, they have turned up to the party so far, and what a performance.
One of the things they've been very good at is that they've been able to look at some of the weaknesses that Timonix Rangers may have, and one of them, of course, is in that left back position where, of course, Russell Jr. plays so high up the park, leaving a lot of real estate behind him, and Jordan Reilly has really played his part in this game. And more importantly as well, if you look at the game, the best chances would have fallen to Deportivo. Shaquille Henry with both opportunities. I think going into the second half, Rangers is certainly going to want to play high up the park and, of course, solidify that position with the real estate that, of course, Jordan Reilly has.
Well, Jordan Reilly certainly did get some joy, lots of joy down the right side, and it's something that Dave Foreman I would have to look into. Match week 5 continues, however, over the weekend at the Arima Velodrome at the St. James Police Barracks. And the team we haven't seen yet at La Hoqueta Recreation Ground is Central FC. On Saturday, they come up against the mighty Defense Force. Central FC sit in the bottom half of the table, so they will certainly need a win to improve their standings. Ahead of the season, we did have a chance to chat with Coach Ross Russell, who's right there in the middle of the crowd taking in the action, and a couple of his key players, and this is what they had to offer.
Finally coming back into competitive football is a joy to me because I think I belong on the football pitch. I've been here for years, and I always have ambition to win the league. I'm a previous winner of the league. Away from it was really tough for me. So coming back to football is really a joy. It's a pleasure being back. It's a pleasure being coaching because all the time I was doing goalkeeping coaching. But now I'm the head coach at Ascension. It's just a pleasure to be back out on the football field. I can't say if they're fit enough yet because the season was off for 2 years. So, coming back, you'll always feel that you're ready. Right now, the guys are working extremely hard to get to where they was when the pandemic came. Right now, I'm just hoping that the guys take everything I teach them on board, and we'll see when if they come.
Well, it's an exciting feeling after being out for so long, 2 years, no football. All the footballers, everybody know that was, a depressing feeling. So, we're excited to get back out there in the Ascension League. our team, Central FC, it's a young squad, We only had 2 weeks to prepare, so, we have an intense training session trying to get back the fitness levels up there for everybody on the team. The best qualities of my team is youth. That's what we're going into the competition with, a lot of youth. Because, the younger you are, the fitter you are, the more you're open to learning the game, that kind of way. Well, a successful season for our team will be, if some of the players get scouted, maybe to go abroad, maybe for the national team as well, that may define a successful season for our team.
It feels amazing to be back. Most of our lives were based around football, so during the pandemic, you had to find something else to do to fill that void, but nothing fills the void of football. We need a teammate, so it feels amazing. Everybody's just coming back to it, getting back to full fitness, getting back in stride, getting to know each other as well because it's a new team. So we're just building the chemistry right now and having a good time. And so far, during the short time that we've been together, I would say we just don't give up. We always at it. So I would say resilience is a strong quality around the team, and the players would say that as well.
And Ascension FC, a team, of course, Brent Sancho is quite familiar with, and the head coach, Ross Russell.
Yeah, it's good to see, of course, the young men back out there. I think for Central FC, it's important to give the young players a chance. And you've seen it throughout the tournament. A lot of teams have chosen to go down the route of younger talent and give them the opportunity. I think, as young St. Rose would have mentioned, it's important for these young men to possibly get scouted and to apply their trade overseas.
Oh, St. Rose has been one of the top young talents coming out of Trinidad and Tobago, getting an opportunity. And we would see more from him and others like him later on. So it's goalless here at the Horquetta Recreation Ground. We take a break, and when we come back, we've got second half action. 45 minutes is all that remains between Timunex La Horquetta Rangers and Deportivo Point Fortin from scoring a goal. At the moment, it's goalless. Nobody cares at the moment here at the La Horquetta Recreation Ground. They're all having a grand time because the atmosphere is ripe and they've certainly witnessed a very exciting match. Welcome back to second half action here on Sportsmax and CCN TV6 in Trinidad and Tobago. James Saunders is my name alongside Brent Sancho, and lots to look forward to in the second half.
Yeah, certainly lots to look forward to, certainly from a tactical perspective, whether or not Rangers are going to change their approach. And of course, for Deportivo, how are they going to approach the second half from a tactical point of view? But overall, certainly pleasing on the eye. And both teams, despite the lack of real goal scoring opportunities, it has been an entertaining encounter.
Won't be surprised if I see some changes from that man, Dave Quamina. Hasn't quite gone according to plan for him in the first half, but he's got a ton load of stocks lined up. And they're having a ton load of vibes, as they say, taking in all of the action. Always brings out the crowd here in La Horquetta anytime the home team plays. There we go. The contingent of officials, they've had their hands full. Has been a tempestuous match so far. And done a relatively good job. He's had a tough job, Caleb Sturge, containing the likes of Jordan Reilly. You'd hope for some more help from that man, Ross Russell Jr. Jamel Cricht, the captain, he's been pretty silent in this match. He hasn't been allowed to dictate the play as he often does, but that man certainly has, Jordan Reilly.
Yeah, but I think a lot of the reasons behind the Rangers' subdued performance so far is because of the way Deportivo have applied themselves to this fixture. They've certainly not made it easy for Rangers. Of course, we talk about Deportivo's position on the table, but can't be fooled. When you look at some of the names on that paper that's wearing the orange and blue, certainly some not only household names, but James, match winners in there.
Yeah, lots of match winners who've been there, done it. Shaquille Henry has been good for Paradise FC, was the leading goal scorer. Andrew Pacheco certainly won some matches in his time. Jordan Reilly has done it at the secondary school level. It's quite right. You've got men. Isaiah Hudson has done it at secondary school level as well. Game changers. Andrew Etienne. Daniel Garcia. Players have won titles, but locally, regionally, and internationally. And changes. Jamal Francois comes in to the lineup. And, well, the man, they call him the Trini Ronaldinho on YouTube, Atula Guerra, TNT International. He's been a star performer, both in the USL, locally, and back in the day at Mucurapo Secondary Comprehensive. So they're looking to him for answers, Atula Guerra.
We saw him deployed as a second half substitute before in the Central Soccer World fixture.
He scored twice coming on as substitute in consecutive games.
He did, and you would have to figure that he may have that sort of impact into this one. It'll be interesting.
But here's Kadeem Corbin, a man who's been pretty consistent on the scoring chart. It's interesting to know the evolution of Kadeem Corbin. He's, for much of his career, been deployed as a number 9, central striker. But he has sort of morphed into an overall attacker, can play on both flanks. That's something for Paul to chase. And Real Gill is not going to make it easy for him. So it is a corner. And early o'clock, they've got to defend. Etienne and Marvin Phillip. Experience combined, making sure that all is regular and correct. In the area, headed away by Etienne. Reilly misses. It's Morris. Had to be quick. And we tussle with Gill and Cornwall. I tell you what, I've rarely seen Cornwall lose an individual duel.
Yeah, he's been spot on throughout this tournament for Deportivo. Solid left back.
Here's Garcia coming out of traffic nicely. It's another Garcia. So they'll just take their time now to compose and look for options. Not the best of passes from Cornwall. It's been good this tournament. Last time he played here in La Horquetta, he was our man of the match. Sturge under no pressure. Back to his goalkeeper. Well, he's a character, isn't he? Nuts Landing, the popular peanut vendor. Made his name West Indies matches. He's a comedian of sorts. Always a popular local entertainer. Oh, this is a long service. And, wow. Henry just couldn't get over it. Head away the danger. And it back Garcia. And it will be a goal kick.
I think he's changed his job spec.
Well, he's with the Angels. I wonder which one is he? If they've got the Angels, you've got to have the yang to that.
Well, he's right. He's wearing the right color.
Got that right. Only as far as Garcia. Looking for room. He finds Hudson. Well cut out by Kreit. Natula Guerra is away. Francois has his pass cut out. Here's Ross Jr. Looking for Guerra. Oswald to screen is mad. In for Crichton. Oh, goodness me. Marvin Phillips had the hands of iron. And, well.
I tell you what, James, I'm looking at the referee's reaction. I'm not sure if we have it in shot, but I think he was in two minds about possibly giving a penalty kick.
Well,
look at the original shot here. Saved by Marvin Phillips. Look at the well, he's out of our picture. But I think the referee went to you. Look at Marvin Phillips demonstrating. He as well was believing that he was looking that way.
Yeah, I think Etienne is a bit lucky, but had to do what he had to do.
Well, one of the things that's a bit of an eye opener. Well, that's a.
Oh, goodness me, Marvin Phillips! How in the world did he keep that out? Well, I rarely have seen shots surprise Marvin Phillips, and that one surprised him. Didn't beat him though. That's why he makes the box.
That is a top save, and I don't know how much of it he knows. He knows of it.
Well, he'll have to get ready again here, and the break could be on, but a wayward pass gets away the danger. But Marvin Phillips, my word, he's been good.
Well, I think in goalkeeping school, they always say, get your body behind the line of the ball. And I think that's all he did, really. It was moving and swerving. When he first sighted it, I think he just decided to line his body up behind that line. And it worked out for him.
I tell you what, Michael Maurice is smiling somewhere. That was our goalkeeper coach back at Star Wars Strikers and always drilled that into us.
Clever man. That's a poor pass.
Michael Maurice, of course, was also famous part of the 1990 strike squad team that included Russell Latterby, Dwight York, Clayton Morris, and many others. And
That's a poor decision.
yeah, never really got hold of it.
It's and for many reasons they had a 3v2 situation there, James. And as we look at Captain Jamal on the floor, of course, protesting with the referee that he didn't blow for the foul. I don't think I saw much in it. Here we go again. He tried to turn inside, which was always difficult there. There's a little bit of a nibble on the ankle. Could have been called. And I think Deportivo should have taken advantage of that.
And that's another duel that is won by Cornwall. I'm just loving that save from Marvin Phillip. Forgive me for crushing on it. I'm a goalkeeper.
I'm there with you, my friend. It's a top save. Again, I don't know if he knew much about it, but give him some credit.
Yes, Sturge. Oh, that's a good ball. Finds Kadeem Corbin. Oh, he's going past Etienne. Chance is opening up here. And, well, the final ball just behind the attacker.
This is going to be close. This is going to be
Henry's
close.
there. Oh, that's a good save from St. Hilaire. So we've seen good saves on both ends. It's not over. Jamal Francois. Game really stretched at the moment. Real Gill. It's been quiet. Not this time. That pass loud in the air of Marvin Phillip as he zing past his upright. And he's asking questions of his defense. Now he's saying, what in the world are you doing?
Yeah, things starting to open up a bit here. A lot of emotion on the faces of both teams. This young Gill steps inside of Cornwall here and lets fly with the left foot.
Away by Garcia. Quality, quietest match I've seen of Real Gill all tournament. The 18-year-old. He's been kept really quiet in the pocket of Cornwall. Well, this is anybody's ball. Maybe Ross Russell Jr. Time to cross here. That's a good ball.
Got the finish.
Oh, goodness. Well, they're finding space now, and Point Fortin has to be careful. Doesn't lose his cool very often, Marvin Phillip, but he's saying, guys, we need to get it together.
Yeah, they're becoming a bit stretched now. We're seeing little pockets developing it within the ranks, and it's certainly been a very fruitful couple of minutes for La Horquetta Rangers. I think Deportivo have to find a way to settle things down. It comes back to game management. There's enough senior players within that squad that needs to take things down a bit, get them back to being very solid and very resolute. But certainly the advantage has been with La Horquetta Rangers so far.
Etienne.
I don't think Marvin wants to deal with this, with that groin. It's the last thing he wants.
Well, he showed his displeasure there. Well, he's the only man to win the secondary school's intercall title in both football and cricket, Marvin Phillip. He's a secondary school legend because he top scored 1 year in the South Zone Representation College as a striker, and then he won with Princestown in 2001, and he also followed up the year after with the intercall cricket title, also with Princestown. But he has to save here Atula Guerra, and he's quick off the mark, Marvin Phillip. What a goalkeeper. What a servant he has been for Trinidad and Tobago. Hudson running into traffic.
They have to show a little bit more care with the ball.
Daniel taken down, but Guerra continues to play forward. Couldn't find Jamal Francis. Overcooked. So Francois hoping for an impact from him. Been around.
Had some time in Central America.
Certainly has. Point forward, just seems to have lost some of the composure that we saw in the first half. Higher pressure from Rangers.
I think this is a problem here. They've been coughing the ball up in these sorts of areas, which has been a springboard for some of these sorts of attacks. And this is what Rangers want to do.
Well, it's opening up here for Gill. Oh, Marvin Phillip. Wow. I tell you what, you should rename him Gibraltar. He has been a rock. And Real Gill has come close on 2 opportunities. And he has stood firm every single time. Well, the 18-year-old is coming to life now, Real Gill. Headed away by Garcia, and Daniel David doesn't find favor with gravity on that attempt.
I think they just need to find a spell of possession, Deportivo, just to slow things down a bit, possess the ball and spend some time on it. They got to take a bit of care on it as well, James. We've seen them cough the ball up in some really, and they're being played into these sorts of situations. It's not what they want to do. Just possess the ball, and try to use the flanks, play out in the wide areas.
Well, they couldn't get some joy here to Luke Phillip. Just trying to make inroads. Unsuccessful at the moment inside the La Hoquetta Rangers third of the field. It's Garcia.
Yeah, you can't lose it there.
Oh, danger here for Marvin Phillip. And he's fortunate that the accuracy not matching the expectation, but it certainly was worth a try.
And that's what has been the downfall for Deportivo in this half. They've been really playing themselves into dangerous situations with these straight balls in the middle, being picked off just like that.
Stewards wins possession. Here's Daniel David. Real Gill.
That's a good ball.
Deep into the area. And, wow. Headed away at this time. Marvin Phillip can't get his right hand to it. And the home crowd, well, they do what they always do every Friday night because goals have been pouring in. And that man, Kadeem Corbin, is among the scorers yet again.
It's nothing short of what they deserve. La Hoquetta Rangers. Good swivel and shot. Good ball in the middle there by the young man, Real Gill. Didn't clear their lines. Fortunate touch, but a top finish there by Corbin. Beating an outstretched Marvin Phillip to the delight of the home support. You have to say, James, that was coming.
Well, there were warning signs, and there will be changes. Mark Ramdeen will make his way on. He replaces Luke Phillip. And Houghton Hector, the veteran TNT International and W Connection man, will come in. 35 caps, 7 goals for Trinidad and Tobago. Houghton Hector, CFU Club Championship winner in 2009. Played with Hanoi TNT in Vietnam for several years. And he's back home, and his job is quite simple, to help his home community get back level. So we're on the hour mark with Rangers leading by 1-0. Well, here's Hector. Oh, he's gone past one. having a shot. Could fall nicely here. And the flag went up. And, well, Henry thought he might have been in. Newton Hector's already caused an impact since coming on. He's a midfielder who can score goals. Did it in his SSFL days at Bethany Secondary. Well, the game has come to life.
Well, they have to go for it, don't they, really, James? Deportivo. They've not played particularly well in the second half. And they have to find a way to break down this very stubborn and well-orchestrated Trinidad Rangers rear guard.
They've got less than 30 minutes to find an inroad. Garcia heads it back to Etienne. It's a brave header. And I'm not quite sure what Etienne had in mind there. Certainly wasn't what Garcia was thinking. He does apologize, takes responsibility. He's had 5 caps with the national senior team, Etienne. Did win a title playing in India, the Duan Cup. Andre Etienne played a couple of seasons there. Also played with Progreso in Honduras, where he got 17 caps and he scored 2 goals. Here's Hector. He's a staunch favorite of our former W Connection coach, Stuart Charles Fervier, called Hector an orchestral leader.
Certainly, as it relates to TT Pro League football, he'd be up there.
Certainly one of the best in the business. Getting on in age now, Hector, but he does have quality. It's going to be a tussle here. He's done well, and that's well cut out as well. The defending. Keeps it alive, Henry. Here's Garcia. Looking for inroads. Maybe overhits. And it is overhit. It's been frustrating in the final third.
It's the right idea, it's just certainly executed the wrong way. But they're going to have to be adventurous, James, if they want to get back into this. They can't sit back and expect it to be handed to them.
Well, they've just tossed in 2 creative players, Mark Ramdeen and Hector. Will that pay dividend? Well, Jamal Crate is one of those underappreciated players in a football team. You rarely see him in the match, but he's pivotal. Yeah, he is challenging for this one. Yes, Jamal Crate, the captain, and well, his shot. Nothing underrated about that. Wasn't up to his usual standard. Type of player that just does these simple things right. Rotates possession, works well in retrieving possession on the opposite side of the ball. Here's Garcia to Etienne. Rondell Paul to Cornwall. They're trying to move the ball quicker now as Mark Ramdeen turns into a red light. Houghton Hector. Tried to find Hector there, Hudson, but he loses it in a bad area. It's back with Hector. Oh, he's trying to find Henry, and well, that's good defending from Morris.
I tell you, he threw an elbow there. I'm not sure.
Well, both players seem to be in a bit of pain. And
well, I tell you, James, I'm looking at it, and hopefully we get another look at this. Look at when Morris hits the ground. Of course, tussling here with Shaquille Henry. Look at the right arm of Morris, right here. And I wonder how much of that the referee would have seen, because that's a red card offense.
yeah, it's difficult to see those. Assistant, of course, on the other side of the field. I'd be surprised if he did spot it, but it's unfortunate for Morris, though.
And the referee is still hovering around. Look at this here, James. Henry obviously infringes, but once you've thrown that elbow right there, you're off the field. It's not part of the sport.
And well, it seemed to be two hands thrown.
Well, the referee is still there, and I'm thinking he's going to take some sort of action, because he would have seen it. And you're correct. It was an elbow thrown twice, so it's hard to see. Well, he's come out scotch-free. I'm very surprised of that.
It's a lucky boy.
He's a very, very fortunate. Of course, we have the luxury of
Being PR operators.
perfect camera angle and a tremendous production team.
Congrats to the camera crew. Well, here's Real Gill. Hudson has to hurry. And
That's a good tackle.
crunching tackle there from Sturge.
He's done really well there. He had to have his timing correct, and that's exactly what he's done. A bit of afters as well. A bit of Bertie's pepper sauce sprinkled on there. It's a crunching challenge.
Mucho caliente.
He's been superb tonight as well. He's covered well behind Morris and the wing backs. He's had his work cut out for him against some very talented front players from Deportivo, but he's done well.
That one is long in search of Guerra. Would not find him.
You'd have to wonder at some point whether or not Deportivo is going to throw another body up front. Right now, Shaquille Henry is playing as a lone striker. You have Ramdeen and of course, Reilly flanking, but then Houghton Hector almost in that creative role, but I think two players up front might give Rangers something else to think about. It would mean the removal of one of their holding midfielders, one out of the two anyway. Are they willing to take that gamble? Still 1-0, still a lot of time.
Looking for options ahead of him. Could be a chance opening up here. The Hector keeps it alive. And Henry, oh goodness me.
What?
I think Cinderella might have been saying a prayer or two as that roll passes right upright.
Probably the most difficult of chances that he's had. He's had a couple in this game, but he's done well to create that small slice of space needed to get that shot off.
Well, is there another roll of the dice in this game for either of these teams? Rangers just leading by 1-0 inside the final 20 minutes of the match. That was good from Ross Jr. Philip Garcia has been very good this evening. Houghton Hector is fouled. Still doesn't think so.
He's certainly added some life to the Deportivo team since coming on, Hector. There's no doubt in his quality.
Can he pick out a familiar shirt inside the sea of red?
That's a great ball.
At the back on, Ramdeen just couldn't pin the donkey's tail. But he came calling though.
I tell you what, he was all alone there, James. I'm not sure if there was a red shirt anywhere in his vicinity. He had the chance. Nice ball into the box there by Hector. Yeah, he's all alone. He's got to hit the target back across the goal. Just never met it with any real purchase. And of course, it ended up going wide. That's a chance. This could be trouble.
Easily gobbled up by Marvin Phillip, but how close was that? Chances on both ends of the field. So you've seen some end-to-end stuff. You've got to give some credit to Terminix Rangers defensively. They've been pretty disciplined and well organized. Just wait patiently to get their moment to transition.
And I think more importantly, they use that defensive solidity to springboard a lot of their attacks. And because they're so well organized and so drilled defensively, they're able to attack with a lot of impotence. So, well, they are one of those teams that makes life very difficult for you.
Well, Sturge does well to eliminate the threat of Shaquille Henry. Well, more changes are afoot in the Point Fortin camp. Stephen Joseph is all set to come in, and he will replace Isaiah Hudson. Like for like change, Joseph coming in midfielder to replace the midfielder. He would feel that maybe he can get one opportunity to put his team back on course.
He's had a couple in the first half. That, looking back at it now, certainly should have done better. As we see Jabari Francis. As I've said before, James, at some point, Deportivo will have to throw numbers forward. I'm not sure they are resigned to that faith yet. They still trying to keep that Singletary man up front. But you would think if they are to get into this, they'd have to put numbers.
Well, Kadeem Lewis is receiving some treatment off the field at the moment. Jordan Reilly, by the way, has been replaced. Ezekiel Kisa has been summoned as his replacement. Inside the final 12 minutes of the match. Tell you what, Rangers are looking to make some more changes. Lots of activity happening on the bench for Rangers. As many as 3 players are set to come in. They want more. Well cut out by Garcia. It's been so solid all evening. It's a giveaway to Guerra. Here's Kreit. Kadeem Corbin, the goal scorer. And, well, he can get past Philip. Break could be on with Mark Ramdeen on the opposite end. Henry. Guerra, first time ball into Corbin. For Guerra, well, he might just have given up on that one. As Brent Sanchez says, you can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket.
Certainly wanted nothing to do with that ticket. There's a certain Andretti and behind the purchasing machine.
Here's Guerra again. Kreit. Looking for Gill. Away by Paul. Only as far as Garcia. Run into some trouble. But Etienne doing the janitorial work, cleaning up nicely. Well, the passes are just beginning to stray as we enter into the last 10 minutes of the match. Rangers still leading by 1-0 against Deportivo, Point Fortin. So that will be retaken. So changes will be made. And former national under-20 player, Jesus Perez, is set to come in. But first, Emmanuel Thomas would make his way on. Not quite sure who he replaced. Real Gill, but also see the end of his evening to be replaced by former national player Jesus Perez. Kadeem Corbin could be set to come off as well, as Kadeem Thomas is being lined up. Seems to be some confusion about who comes off. Oh, finally, there we go. Kadeem Corbin is off. Jesus Perez is on. Kadeem Thomas is on. And Emmanuel Thomas makes his debut. Emmanuel Thomas here, making his debut.
Well, it looks like they've gone to maybe a 3-back system. It's a lot of instructions going on, a lot of pointing, and I'm not sure if all the instructions that has left the bench has been carried onto the field.
Etienne. Is there one last roll of the dice for point 14? Ramdeen faces a heavy challenge from Thomas. What an introduction he's made. Not afraid to put in the big tackles, the wee little man. So can Ramdeen conjure up something? Here's Garcia. Just need him to be a bit more involved in the build-up. And they find a way through the Red Sea. Well, they're challenging for everything, Rangers. Not leaving anything to chance. Goes all the way back to Marvin Phillip. Searching ball from Garcia. Finds nobody in his team scholars. Might be a good time to take a look at the Sportsmax app moment. And it's one that goalkeepers everywhere should pay attention to. Russ Russell Jr. having a crack at Marvin Phillip. Bounced awkwardly in front of him, but he got his body behind it and reacted well to keep that out. So the TNT senior international goalkeeper gets our Sportsmax app moment for crucial save in the match. Well, they're facing Alcatraz at the moment. Impenetrable, the red shirts of Terminix Rangers. Garcia deflected, and he's won a corner. So something has happened. Could this be the moment? Point 14 we're waiting for. They have an opportunity to pile pressure on. The big guys, Etienne, Paul arrive in the area.
Oh, I tell you.
It's away by Javon Morris. He got there first. A second bite to the Jerry and Sidney Lair. Oh, clever. And, well, it's still alive. And is it over the top? Just over. And, wow. Well, we haven't had many moments of jubilation from point 14 in the last few minutes, but that certainly was one that got the fans jumping.
That's a really good defensive effort there by Morris. He had to be strong and followed up here. Some heroics there by Etienne. It's been very quiet here in La Horquetta. The home fans, of course, feeling the tension, as we all are here. Certainly us in the commentators' booth. Deportivo is certainly involved in this game, and they're still in it.
Well, they still trail by 1-0. A goal scored by Kadeem Corbin. Looks a good foot-in for the man of the match if the score remains. His goal separates these teams. 4 minutes to go.
I think you'd have to give an honorable mention to Caleb Sturge at the back as well for Terminix La Horquetta Rangers, but I think you're spot on with that one. Corbin's goal is the difference. Made and created by him. You have to give him credit.
Houston Hector. Well, how often have we seen him create chances out of nothing?
Well, I'm looking at the body language of Natalian Garcia, and I suspect he's gonna go for it. He looks a lot like Malcolm Marshall with his stance.
Long run up as well.
Yeah.
That man has to be alert. Jabari St-Hilaire. Tell you what, both can hit them. Here's Garcia, and too high.
Yes, it was always asking a bit too much. Not only the distance as well, but it would have, of course, needed the force and direction, which is very difficult to do when you're 50 yards away from goal.
Here's Kreit. To Guerra. 1v1 with Etienne. And he loses that battle. Etienne has been solid.
It's a good ball.
Could open up some chances here.
Sturge did really well. Again, James. Not only got back, but he made the decisive touch as well. Caleb Sturge. Excellent defending there. We are a couple of weeks away, James, from Nations League football, and I'm sure a lot of players here would have possibly put their names in the notebook for Coach Eve. Some good performances.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, two fullbacks supporting Fortin, maybe even Etienne putting his name in the hat. Ross Russell Jr. as well.
Caleb Sturge.
Yep.
And of course, Kevin Woodley in the first game. I think he's done more than put his name on the list.
Yeah, he's signed his name with a golden pen. There's Kisa. Couldn't get on the end of it, Kisa. We're into the last minutes of regulation time. The clock is ticking down. And the assistant referees stepping to his mark. And, well, they'll have some opportunity, maybe, to get a lifeline. It's 5 minutes that will be added. Here's Kreit. They're in search of some insurance at the moment. Here's Guerra. Oh, that's a good ball from Guerra. Time, space, and wow. Anticlimactic is the best description. Should have been game, set, and match. What do you think about our potential man of the match, Kadeem Corbin? I'll tell you after.
That's a good ball.
Ramdeen. Oh, that's a good
finish here.
time. Oh, goodness me. He took all the time in the world, and, well, Akinola Gregory couldn't pin it after that. But that was the chance they were hoping for. They got the chance, but he lost his ticket.
Well, what a delightful ball here by Hector. Getting Ramdeen in his first try. Defender slips. All he has to do is place it in. That's a good block at the end. That was a chance, James. Maybe the best chance for Deportivo so far.
Maybe the chance. Not once this man is around Hector. It's going past two. Yes, Ramdeen again. This time, Gregory. And
my.
Gets in the way. And I tell you, they're covering the eyes and the bench of Rangers at the moment. This is too much. They can't complain of not getting the chances. So that big roadblock into there. Oh, well, he's done a good job. He's kept it out.
It's a good ball across the face of the goal by Ramdeen. Drives it across. I just had to touch it into the back of the net. Fumbles his line. Eventually Hilaire with his feet. Well, I thought Ramdeen had a chance. Well, that was the chance. 2 consecutive chances in the space of a minute. Deportivo only have themselves to blame for the scoreline.
I'm sure the folks in La Brave, Bessany, Vance River, Sobo, Captiville, as far as Icacus, Sejus, Fullerton, they're going to be screaming at their televisions at the moment. They've seen their team come so close. It's an emotional roller coaster for them at the moment. Yet still they trail by 1-0. Is there more drama? Well cut out. McDaniel. Price is hustled. And, wow. Paul, confident. He does force Marvin Phillip to play quickly. It's a long ball. Looking for Gregory. Oh, that's a bad giveaway in a bad area. Chance opening up for Francois. Well, needs better coordinates than that. Nowhere near the target. Time running out, less than 2 minutes remaining. Deportivo Point Fortin trail by 1-0 to Terminex Rangers, who will remain unbeaten if the score stays as is. Here's Garcia into Gregory, can't find him. Away by Kreit. Oh, he's hustled out of possession there. Had to be quicker. Good work from Gregory. In for Ramdeen, who can get in behind the fullback. Hector. Garcia. Pressure up the clock and forces an errant shot. Perhaps not the right choice at the right time.
Well, when you look back at this one, James, Deportivo only have themselves to blame, really. They've created the opportunities. I would suggest to not only be level, but probably be in front as well. When you look at the 2 chances that the Henry had in the first half and some of the chances here in the second half, they should have been high and dry.
Russell Jr. loses possession. Hector. I'll tell you what, Hector certainly has changed the texture of the game since coming on.
Well, he's brought quality passes, quality decision making. And the only thing that's failed the Deportivo team is quality execution. And that's why Rangers are 1-0 up. Close score for the home team so far.
Well, additional time has been used up. So discretionary at the moment. Is there one roll of the dice for Deportivo Point Fortin? Hector.
It's got to go. It's got to go in the box. It's got to go in the box.
Looking for Henry. Joseph.
It's got to go.
Aiming long across the field. Just out of time, you feel.
Well, they're heading in the wrong direction.
Ramdeen. Well, the fans are screaming for them to get the ball into the area. Etienne looking for movement. Hector. Last chance, maybe. Did score an equalizer against the New York Red Bulls, but it's not going to be enough tonight as the home team, Terminex La Horquetta Rangers, have done enough And it's a goal by Kadeem Corbin that keeps them alive in this contest as they take a 1-0 win over Deportivo Point 14. They just sense that they feel as if they've got themselves to blame. Emotions high from both teams. They've certainly provided an entertaining contest to the hundreds of fans that have piled in here in La Horquetta. But it was not to be. Terminix Rangers doing the business in front of their home fans and getting a 1-0 win over Deportivo. Getting set for your highlights. And Deportivo did start the brighter of the two teams. Early chance over the top of the crossbar. Some rough tackles. Kadeem Corbin, of course, very instrumental in this match, creating this one. Russell Jr. And how about that for a challenge from Etienne? Later on, good work from the young former Presentation College man and Shaquille Henry. Just couldn't pin the tail of the donkey there. And more chances at the back door. This one knocked into the area. Tintale up to the task. Second half, after a goal that's first, Marvin Phillips was called into action on more than one occasion. And Russell Jr. perhaps forcing the best save out of Marvin Phillips. Of Sportsmax app moment with that save. Not sure he knew much about that. And then Garcia opening up a chance here. Well saved by Saint-Hilaire. Then Real Gill deflected. And well, Marvin Phillips lucky that that one went over the crossbar. Atula Guerra came in as a second half substitute. And Daniel would set up Corbin. Marvin Phillips, how often have we seen him palm them away time and time again? And then this, the swivel and the execution. Again, Real Gill involved in the build-up. Kadeem Corbin. Well, how about that for marksmanship? Nothing Marvin Phillips could do as they took a 1-0 lead. Terminix La Horquetta Rangers. Chances on the opposite end. Shaquille Henry, perhaps the best of the chances that he got. Shitting night for the man he called Smeck. Saint-Hilaire was forced into action here. Etienne trying his luck. And Paul, the other central defender. But no luck. And with the clock ticking down, maybe the best chance to Ramdeen. And maybe too long to pull the trigger, as that one was taken out of the area as Akinola Gregory could not hit the target. As 1-0 the score remained in favor of Terminix La Horquetta Rangers, and it's a score that gives us the winning goal as we look at some of the statistics. 15 shots each for Rangers and Deportivo, or for the major difference, 7 on target for Rangers as compared to 2 from Deportivo. Well, from those 7 on target, 1 went in, and it was good to see this man. That's with Brent Sancho.
Well, thank you very much. I'm joined here by man of the match, Kadeem Corbin. Of course, Kadeem, a good result for Terminix La Horquetta Rangers. More importantly, it gets you 3 points more up the table. Your personal performance, scoring a pivotal goal here. Talk us through it.
I would like to thank God first and foremost for my performance tonight. And I really work hard for it, and I will thank you.
I thought throughout this encounter, you became more and more involved in it. What did the coach say to you guys at halftime, knowing, of course, it was a very close encounter?
Well, first, he said, if we cannot score, them can't score. And let's go for it in second half, and that's what we do. And finally get the 3 points we work hard for.
Well, we saw a little clip of your goal. You created a little bit of space, swiveling. What was on your mind when you were able to create that space? Did you think you had enough purchase on the ball to put it past Marvin Phillips?
My main focus was to just get it off my feet as quick as possible. And I did it, and it went in the net.
Well, again, our man of the match, Kadeem Corbin, congratulations and all the best for the rest of the season. Thank you very much. We are now joined, of course, by the coach of Deportivo Point 14, Coach Francis. Of course, Coach, disappointing result. Can you find some solace in the performance?
Yeah. I was comfortable with the performance. Once again, the finishing let us down, but I was comfortable with the performance.
Well, we saw some guilty chances not being put to, as you rightfully mentioned. Of course, moving forward, something to build on for your team.
Yeah, definitely. We each game we keep growing better and better. So one thing we know for sure is that as the games go on, we have plenty more games to go. We'll only get better. We're comfortable with that.
Well, certainly. And again, congratulations on the performance tonight.
Yeah.
And of course, all the best to you and your team as the season progresses.
Thanks, man.
Coach Francis of Deportivo Point Fortin, the losing coach in this end, but certainly putting in a creditable performance. We are now joined by the managing director of Terminex La Horquetta Rangers, the winning man tonight, of course, Mr. Richard Ferguson. Mr. Ferguson, positive result. Happy man tonight?
No, not happy at all. I don't think we played to our best, but I think Deportivo played an excellent game. You know, they were absolutely fantastic. You can see they were well coached and they were very, very fit. You know, they ran the whole 90 minutes. And to be honest, I think they deserve a share of the points. You know, they played really well. I was very impressed with them. And but, you know, I think it was a lucky result for us. Very, very lucky.
As you move forward, of course, with the games to come, you think Terminex La Horquetta Rangers have done enough already to assure themselves the Ascension tournament title?
Absolutely not. The tournament is wide open. It has 4 teams very, very close to the top. You know, Rangers, Police, Kunupia, Defense Force, very, very close. And it's an excellent advertisement for football in Trinidad. And you can see these players tonight were the best players in Trinidad and Tobago. The game was absolutely top-notch. It was exciting. It produced the drama that I think football is. You know, and kudos again to you, Brent, and James, and Sportsmax, and Kerry, and Nicholas, and these guys. I think you're doing a great job. And it's bringing the football to the public of Trinidad and Tobago, and of course to the Caribbean, to the wider Caribbean, which is all part of what we want to do.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Ferguson. Of course, congratulations to your team, and more importantly, all the best for the rest of the tournament.
Thanks a lot, Brent.
Back over to you, James.
Well, what an evening we've witnessed. An evening of success for Terminex La Horquetta Rangers, giving the home fans something to celebrate, taking a 1-0 win over Deportivo. The win pushes them up firmly into first position with 13 points and, plus 18 goal difference. So we certainly had a wonderful evening bringing the action to you here on Sportsmax and CCN TV6. And until next week, Friday, catch you later.